and burning in your feet that never eases up, crampy, heavy legs that sap your energy, prickly, sharp pains shooting through your toes that rob you of a good night's sleep. Yet if you ask your doctor for something to ease your nerve pain, he probably just whips out his pad and writes you a script for gabapentin or another drug that takes the edge off at first, only to stop working, making you wonder if you're condemned to suffer for the rest of your life, and maybe even lose a foot. Fortunately, there's good news. You can finally escape the prison of nerve pain because top Ivy League researchers recently discovered a breakthrough 30-second ritual that's clinically proven to fight neuropathy better than any drug. Cut your pain in half in just a few days, and soon after that, eliminate your nerve pain forever, no matter how old you are, how long you've been suffering, and even if nothing else has worked, because it's the only solution that tackles what's now known as the real root cause of your nerve pain. Whether it's peripheral, diabetic, or anything else, a vile, sticky substance that leading-edge researchers call nerve plaque, because just like cholesterol plaque clogs up your arteries, right at this very moment, as you sit here watching this video, Ivy League research shows this newly discovered nerve plaque is clogging, overloading, and poisoning your nerves, triggering the tingling, burning, and cramping that's driving you nuts. Now, left unchecked, this plaque can completely kill off your nerves and leave your doctor saying one word anyone with nerve pain or diabetes fears: amputation. But relax, you'll never need to worry about that because scientific research proves this ritual clears out that sticky plaque, regenerates your nerves, and vanishes your numbness, burning, and tingling in mere days. All without drugs, ointments, light therapy, machines, diet, exercise, run-of-the-mill supplements. And get this, you don't even have to completely swear off sugar. Now, that may seem a bit out there, yet this is a medical fact, one now verified by research from Oxford, Johns Hopkins, and other prestigious universities. And in as little as 1 week from now, when you're pain-free, thanks to what I'm about to show you, you'll sleep soundly right through the night and wake up refreshed and energized. You'll enjoy long walks and activities with loved ones again, and you'll just feel more energy, confidence, and joy. Now that nerve pain no longer sucks the life out of you. Just like 51-year-old Kathy Corleen of Jupiter, Florida, who remarked, "The pins and needles would wake me in terrible pain, and it felt like I was going to lose my arm. I didn't think this would work, but the first night I felt some improvement, and after that night, I've been pain-free since." And 69-year-old Mary Thompson of Dallas, Texas, who said, "2 months ago, I was limping along on tours in Seattle with my daughter, having to sit down constantly. Now I can walk several miles a day, mow the lawn, and chop weeds in my yard with absolutely no pain." And then 81-year-old Larry Schilling of Little Rock, Arkansas, who exclaimed, "I tried ointments, medicated creams, and pills, and nothing worked. Then I tried this. Finally, my legs are all better. Praise the Lord." And these stories aren't a fluke. This discovery has helped over 42,000 men and women escape neuropathy, including my own wife. And her neuropathy was so far advanced, she almost lost her foot. Look, I don't ever want your family to go through the hell our family went through. Heck, I don't want you to suffer it one more second. So please keep watching, because this isn't just another video. It's your golden ticket to kicking nerve pain out of your life for good. So as you continue watching this presentation, please pay close attention as I detail this nerve pain ending routine for you. You'll want to begin using it right away, so you too can flush out these plaques and end your nerve pain nightmare in the next few days. Plus, if you're attempting to battle your nerve pain by changing your diet, you'll discover why swearing off sugar is often not the solution, and why one so-called healthy food might even be worse for your nerves than sugar. Next, you'll also discover the connection between your sleeping position and neuropathy, including which sleeping position destroys your nerves. And finally, you'll discover how my wife went from nearly losing her foot to her doctor declaring her 100% pain-free, all in a matter of days, and all thanks to a scientifically proven 30-second ritual that will give you a life pack. That's all coming soon. Yet first, I must warn you, since this breakthrough fixes the root cause of neuropathy without a single drug, Big Pharma steers most physicians away from prescribing it. So as this video goes viral, and as countless Americans trash their ineffective neuropathy meds, it could cost Big Pharma billions of dollars, while saving you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month in healthcare costs. That's why the greedy Big Pharma CEOs are itching to see this presentation taken down. So if you finally want to escape the anger, depression, and hopelessness of neuropathy, and guarantee you never lose your independence, never lose your dignity, and never lose a limb, you should watch this video right now to the very end. Okay, Before we get started, let me introduce myself, and I want to share what led me to this amazing discovery. My name is Dr. John Gyro. I'm a medical doctor and surgeon with over 35 years of experience. I've served as medical director at St. John of God Hospital, leading teams of physicians, and I've also volunteered in remote villages and rural clinics around the world, where I performed emergency surgeries under the most challenging conditions imaginable, saving lives when modern medical facilities weren't available. That's where I discovered powerful healing secrets they never taught us in medical school, just like the 30-second ritual that's now freed over 42,000 men and women from neuropathy. And now I'm lucky enough to be regarded as one of the world's foremost experts on natural health and longevity. And yet, despite all my success, the recognition and the accolades, the television appearances and lectures given around the world, I felt like a total failure when I couldn't even help my own wife, Lori. One morning I noticed she was having trouble walking and complaining of the telltale symptoms of nerve damage, symptoms you might be feeling at this very moment. Maybe your toes feel numb or tingly. Maybe you sometimes can't feel the carpet beneath your feet. And maybe you can't sleep at night because your feet burn like that thickens, almost like somebody clamped jumper cables from your toes. Well, that's exactly what was happening to my Lori. I consulted with my colleagues, ran every test I knew, but I'll admit part of me wanted to just wish it away. Yet I now know I was just too scared to accept that the numbness was a warning sign of something much worse to come. Soon her pain intensified. Her legs felt heavy and crampy, and even just walking from the car to the pharmacy entrance felt like running a marathon. But one afternoon at the supermarket, out of the blue, Lori's legs just buckled, and she crumpled like a rag doll, sending soup cans crashing to the floor as she grabbed a shelf for dear life. "John, I can't feel my legs. I can't get up," she yelped as her legs slipped out from under her. You could hear a pin drop in the stores. Everyone stared at Lori holding onto my arm, struggling to stand up. "Let's get out of here," Lori uttered, her cheeks bright red as we left a cart full of food in the middle of the aisle. The second we got home, I immediately called my neurologist colleague and begged him to fit us in. Fast forward to the doctor handing us the results of Lori's skin biopsy and swallowing before saying, "It's neuropathy. There's nothing we can do to stop it. Meds will slow it down, but you will lose your mobility. And the pain will get much, much worse." Lori's body trembled. Tears flooded down her face, and I just felt numb, completely dead to the world, because this wasn't supposed to happen. You make all these plans for retirement. You plan on spending more time with your grandkids. You plan on finally taking that Caribbean cruise. And you plan on relaxing and enjoying your golden years after working your tail off for decades. Just so some smug doctor, young enough to be your son, can tell you, "Well, looks like you're going to end up in a wheelchair. These prescriptions won't help much, but take them anyways. Hope the side effects aren't too bad. Next patient." And as a medical doctor, I'd seen the report from the medical journal Therapeutics Initiative, revealing that less than 10% of patients feel any noticeable reduction in pain from neuropathy drugs. And I'd read the New York Times article where Dr. Christopher Goodman admitted that there's limited evidence that nerve pain drugs work at all. And I'd heard world-renowned neuropathy researcher Dr. Michael Polidefkis straight up confess that none of Big Pharma's meds will ever cure neuropathy or even slow its progression. That's because the drugs just mask the pain and treat the symptoms, so they never fix anything. In fact, the only thing that will slow down your neuropathy and eventually stop it completely is to eliminate the underlying cause, which, as I'd soon find out, was those nerve plaques that none of my colleagues were talking about. Yet even though I knew the drugs wouldn't do much, I was so scared of losing my wife that my judgment was clouded. So I naively trusted the system. I prayed to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for the prescriptions to do something, anything, to stop her pain. And over the next year, Lori rode the merry-go-round of prescriptions. We must have visited our doctor 10 different times, just for him to prescribe drug after drug. Lyrica, Cymbalta, gabapentin, naltrexone, tramadol, but they all just made her feel dizzy, drowsy, and nauseous, while the tingling, burning, and numbness got so bad, even putting a soft bed sheet over her body made her feel like someone doused her with boiling water. And as you might know, pain isn't always the worst part of neuropathy. It's really the isolation that will drive you insane, because everybody knew Lori could barely stand for more than a few minutes, so they stopped inviting her out. No more pickleball games, dinners, or watching our granddaughter play soccer. Lori just sat on the couch watching Netflix with a blank stare in her eyes, almost like she'd given up on life. My colleagues kept insisting we were doing everything possible. "That's just the way it goes with neuropathy," they'd shrug. So as ashamed as I am to admit this, I listened to them and did nothing. Until the day I walked into the bedroom and saw Lori sleeping on her side, which is the absolute worst sleeping position for nerve pain, and I saw something that shook me to my core. Infections, ulcers, and sores on the bottom of her feet. I rushed her to the emergency room. The doctor cautioned that if we didn't get the nerve damage under control, the infections would spread and he'd have no choice but to amputate. I almost lost it. For months, we'd placed our faith in the so-called specialists who forced Lori to choke down pill after pill. And for what? Just so she could be trapped in a wheelchair for the rest of her life with a stump for a foot? Well, that's when I knew I had to do something. So I did what I should have done from the get-go. Something you are doing by watching this video. I took matters into my own hands. I combed through every neuropathy study I could find. I investigated the latest surgeries, supplements, and experimental treatments. Yet it was obvious the drug companies have zero incentive to actually cure your neuropathy, because the longer you take their drugs, well, the more cash their CEOs stuff into their pockets. Heck, as you saw earlier, Ivy League doctors now admit that gabapentin does not work. Yet prescriptions have tripled in recent years. And in 2021, Big Pharma raked in $1.4 billion from gabapentin alone. So with that kind of money at stake, they have every reason to ignore, even suppress, the unbelievably simple solution that flushes out nerve plaque and starts eliminating your pain immediately. The same solution I stumbled on one Thursday evening. You see, Lori's amputation was scheduled for the next week, yet I still hadn't found the answer. So I took a walk to clear my head, and I looked to the sky, and I prayed that God would give me a clue, and call it serendipity or divine intervention. But that's when it hit me. A research associate of mine back in college specializes in neuropathy. His name is Dr. Phil Garcia. I'd worked with him a few years earlier, and I knew he kept up to date on the latest remedies that most mainstream doctors ignore. Dr. Garcia is also a man of God, so he represents the perfect balance of science and faith-based healing. I knew if there was anyone who could help us, it was Dr. Garcia. And when I finally got him on the phone, I told him all about Lori's nerve pain, the sores, and her upcoming amputation. I told him how useless the drugs were. I told him there must be a better way to treat nerve pain. And for several long seconds, I heard nothing. But then his voice came through on the line. And what he said changed everything. He told me that Ivy League researchers recently discovered that just like plaque gets stuck inside your arteries, a type of nerve plaque also gets stuck in your nerves. And technically, this plaque is triggered by something called advanced glycation end products. And as time goes on, more and more of this plaque builds up in your nerves, accumulating rapidly, stretching and expanding your nerves to their limits, until, just like a balloon filled with too much air, your nerves burst open, and they're now raw, exposed, and vulnerable, just like a frayed electrical wire. This short circuits the connection between your nerves and brain, and triggers a type of static, like the static you see on your TV when the signal goes out. The static forces you to feel sensations that aren't there, like the numbness, tingling, and burning that keeps you up all night. And if left unchecked, these plaques will continue to grow inside your body, destroying more nerve cells with each passing day, until eventually you'll be unable to stand for more than a few minutes. You'll probably need a walker, a cane, or a wheelchair just to get around, and ultimately, these bursts will cause the complete death of a limb, and you may become one of the 200,000 Americans who undergo an amputation every single year. Heck, after seeing the misery, hopelessness, and crippling pain Lori suffered, pain so bad that she sometimes couldn't even put her shoes on, I'd almost rather get my foot chopped off. Dr. Garcia said he'd looked at countless scientific documents, and he realized that these Harvard-trained researchers were 100% right that nerve plaque triggers neuropathy, and that researchers from Oxford, Columbia, and other prestigious universities all came to the very same conclusion. Nerve plaque is the root cause behind all neuropathy. Now, all of this may be one to the same thing you're probably wondering right now. Well, what causes the plaque in the first place? And more importantly, how do you get rid of it? Can you even get rid of it? Well, that's exactly the most surprising part of all. Because Dr. Garcia told me these plaques don't form because of your age, or even because you're consuming too much sugar. No. These plaques infest your nerves for one reason: exposure to tens of thousands of toxins every single day. Toxins in your air, your drinking water, your soaps, shampoos, and personal care products, the industrial chemicals in our homes and environment, the tens of thousands of processed foods that are filled with soybean oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, and other so-called healthy seed oils that are linked to neuropathy. So unfortunately, given how prevalent toxins and processed foods are in our modern world, if you're a man or woman over 40 and you feel any numbness, pins and needles, or burning in your legs, feet, or arms, pretty much a guarantee that plaques are clogging up your nerves. It's not your fault. Yet now that you're armed with this knowledge, it is your responsibility to fix it. And I'll show you how to do that right now. Because from all my years as a scientific researcher, I've seen many natural remedies fight off achy joints, cholesterol, and other health issues, so that all got me wondering, maybe there's a natural solution for eradicating this nerve plaque. And since the evidence points to nerve plaque being the root cause behind all nerve pain, maybe such a solution could stop the nerve pain forever. Well, it sounded good in theory, but it seemed like a long shot. After all, no prescription had helped, nor did any supplement from Amazon, which now makes perfect sense because no common drug or supplement is designed to dissolve nerve plaque. But maybe there is some little known nutrient that does. So I asked Dr. Garcia, and his response was life-changing. Well, John, after I sent you that nerve plaque study, I stumbled on some Nobel Prize-winning research. And this research gives a clear way to suction that plaque out and naturally help your nerves heal. So I'm thinking that if we can find a few nutrients that help kickstart this process, I'm convinced we can stop Lori's pain and potentially reverse her neuropathy. That would be incredible, I gasped. Dr. Garcia agreed to work with me on this. So first, we knew that we had to fight off the toxins that create nerve plaques. And for that, Dr. Garcia recommended we use a rare supernutrient called benfotiamine. A study conducted by the prestigious Mount Sinai School of Medicine in New York shows benfotiamine sweeps through your nerve system and eliminates nerve plaques faster than anything else on the planet. And that's because benfotiamine acts like a bodyguard for your nerves. It keeps toxins and pollutants from infesting your body. It also allows your system to naturally clear out plaque, which eliminates the burning, numbness, and itching. Shockingly, in one study done on mice, scientists discovered that benfotiamine can literally bring a dead diabetic limb back to life, which means that benfotiamine could save you or a loved one's limb from amputation. And while that might be in mice, the next study done in humans shook the medical establishment to their core because patients taking benfotiamine reported a whopping 27.6% improvement in overall nerve pain and nerve function. And that 27.6% improvement means the difference between enjoying a fun, active retirement or spending your golden years in a wheelchair. Folks, benfotiamine is the real deal. And shockingly, this one single ingredient can help you walk upstairs easily again, take up old hobbies, and finally sleep through the night without those electrical shocks jolting you awake. Yet as powerful as benfotiamine is for clearing out those plaques, and you combine it with two more clinically studied ingredients, the relief you feel will be even better and come even faster. Because while stopping these toxins and plaques from building up in the first place is super important, you also need something to quickly stop the pain and help accelerate your nerve repair so that pain never comes back. And for that, Dr. Garcia recommended we use a natural nutrient studied by top researchers at Harvard and Yale, thioctic acid. Explosive new studies found thioctic acid kills nerve pain better than anything else out there, including prescription drugs. You see, the nerve cells that detect pain are called nociceptors, and these receptors activate when you feel the burning, tingling, and itching. That's where the miracle nutrient comes into play. A top study conducted by expert neurologists found thioctic acid blocks that channel that sends pain signals to your brain. In plain English, if your nerves send a false signal that pain is happening, thioctic acid tells your brain to ignore that fake signal, so you don't feel a darn thing. No more burning, no more tingling, no more walking on hot coals, just blessed relief. And in a groundbreaking study of 181 patients done by leading neuropathy researcher Dr. Dan Ziegler, he was astounded when he saw that thioctic acid can slash nerve pain by up to 52%, or cut it by more than half in just a matter of days. I mean, this is amazing, right? Heck, it's even better than amazing. This bona fide proof that you do not have to let nerve pain rob you from living the life you deserve. In fact, mountains of clinical studies now prove benfotiamine and thioctic acid relieve your numbness, burning, and muscle weakness. Yet as stunning as all of the science behind these nutrients is, Dr. Garcia and I went one step further to create the perfect nerve pain solution that will take care of everything. And look, I know that we've covered a lot of science, yet pay close attention to the next 60 seconds, because this next breakthrough nutrient might be the most exciting one yet. You see, if you want a full recovery, you must repair the damage already done to your nerves. And while benfotiamine helps remove the plaques and thioctic acid helps kickstart the nerve repair process, in order to get the most out of these two nutrients and rejuvenate your nerves as fast as possible, you also need a natural nutrient called Alcar. Because science shows that this miracle nutrient does something scientists once thought was impossible. It brings your nerves back from the dead. You see, Nobel Prize-winning research conducted by Dr. Rita Levi-Montalcini found that nerve growth factor, or NGF, is a hormone that is essential for the survival, repair, and regeneration of your nerves. And as it turns out, shocking new studies show that Alcar can help boost your levels of NGF, which also helps regenerate and repair your nerves. And the proof is in the pudding. In an analysis of two double-blind, placebo-controlled trials of 1,257 men and women with nerve issues, patients taking Alcar showed clinically significant improvements in all of their neuropathy symptoms. Amazing, right? Well, still, at the end of the day, it's really not about the clinical studies, the Nobel Prize-winning research, or even about these miracle nutrients themselves. It's about doing the activities you love without pain, like playing pickleball, taking the dog for a walk, or goofing off with your grandkids. It's about doing activities you have to do without pain, like climbing stairs, grocery shopping, or just getting a good night's sleep. And it's all knowing you'll never lose your independence and never become a burden on your loved ones. Wouldn't knowing that be a huge weight off of your shoulders? Man. Well, that's exactly the peace of mind these nutrients will give you. So I quickly arranged for Dr. Garcia to send me the purest samples of each ingredient. And when the packages arrived later, I mixed up the ingredients and made a batch to test. Then I told Lori about what I'd been working on. I told her about the plaques clogging her nerves and causing her pain, and how studies show these powerful compounds flush out those plaques and can even help reverse that nerve damage. And you'd think she'd be jumping for joy to finally hear we had a solution, right? Well, Lori was pretty skeptical. She even refused to try my formula. Yeah, I understood, because every other solution had just left her disappointed, so she was scared of getting her hopes up again. But when I showed her the clinical studies backing each ingredient and the undeniable proof they fight neuropathy unlike anything else out there, she threw up her hands and said, "Fine, I'll try it if it'll make you happy." So she started taking my formula as part of her morning routine. And did she see results? Well, she said some of the numbness in her toes had vanished, yet the electric shocks still jolted her awake at night, and she still needed a walker to help her get around. But here's where the story gets interesting. One morning I woke up and Lori was gone. I saw the walker next to the bed. I panicked. Oh my God, she couldn't get around without that thing. I shouted her name. No answer. I looked out the window and my whole body froze. Lori was walking our dog Dash around the block. Tears of joy ran down my cheeks. And look, most people wouldn't think walking the dog is a big deal. Yet remember, a short time earlier, Lori couldn't even climb a flight of stairs. However, this quick relief was actually kind of scary for Lori because it seemed too good to be true. She was worried the effect would wear off and that the pain would come roaring back. Yet that didn't happen. The Lord answered our prayers. To this day, as long as Lori does what she calls her daily ritual and takes her nerve nutrients, the pain never comes back. And months later, Lori is still bursting with energy. She's laughing more, smiling more. She's playing tag with our grandkids in the backyard. She's taking long walks with her girlfriends again. And the intimacy in our marriage is reignited. We're making love again. And man, you should have seen her neurologist's jaw hit the floor at her follow-up biopsy. He said he'd never seen a transformation like Lori's. He didn't even think it was possible. Yet when we told him about my formula, he just shrugged his shoulders and said, "Well, whatever you're doing, keep doing it." Lori and I just smiled at each other because her biopsy was unquestionable proof that my formula works. Soon the word got out about Lori's transformation. A few diabetics in our church congregation wanted to test drive Lori's nerve nutrients. So I made another batch with what I had left. And nothing, and I repeat, nothing could have prepared us for what happened next. At the very next Sunday service, the people who tested it were absolutely ecstatic because just 1 week after taking my formula, their pain was much better. They were sleeping soundly through the night again, and one woman's eyes lit up when she told me she no longer fears for her future and no longer fears she'll lose a limb. However, we were thrilled to see how this formula was changing people's lives. Quite frankly, we were also pretty furious, because why wasn't this common knowledge? Well, because the nutrients are natural, which means the drug companies can't patent them for profit. And once you're living a pain-free life, using a natural, no side effect solution, you'll no longer need their drugs, which means sales would dry up overnight, and Big Pharma's trillion-dollar profit machine would screech to a halt. And since the drug company bigwigs only care about the almighty dollar, they will never share this solution with the world. So that's why my new purpose in life is to get this breakthrough into the hands of as many nerve pain sufferers as possible. However, there was one big issue: the cost. It cost us $300 to formulate that month's supply. And while many people would happily fork over $300 a month to stop their nerve pain and live life again freely, I needed to make this formula affordable for everyone, especially seniors on a fixed income. And while I'm not some hotshot businessman, I did know you can lower costs by ordering in bulk. So Dr. Garcia helped me source large batches of each ingredient and put them into an affordable, easy to swallow capsule you take daily. But as you know, science is always evolving. And as powerful as benfotiamine, phylactic acids, and Alcar are for clearing out those nerve plaques and stopping your pain, Dr. Garcia and I found 7 more ingredients that supercharge those original 3 nutrients. So you'll feel even better and even faster relief. Starting with methylcobalamin to help support a healthy myelin sheath, the protective covering for your nerves, so that your nerves can protect themselves from those plaques. Next, we added pyridoxine to help restore nerve function and clear out those plaques even further. And then we added a powerful form of turmeric root powder to help fight nerve inflammation and speed up pain relief. Next, folic acid and vitamin D to help improve balance and support healthy nerves. Then we added some ashwagandha to help regenerate nerve cell growth throughout the brain and body. Ashwagandha is one of Ayurvedic medicine's most powerful ingredients that's used for centuries to stop pain. And finally, the icing on the cake, we included a powerful antioxidant called Brassica oleracea to help fight oxidative stress and inflammation. All in all, that's 10 powerful nutrients, all clinically proven to clear out those nerve plaques, erase your pain, and repair your nerves. And when we gave this upgraded formula to those same folks at our church, they reported even better relief. And that's when we knew we had to get this into the hands of as many people as possible. So after months of looking for the purest, highest quality sources for each ingredient and spending tens of thousands of dollars on research and development, I'm proud to announce the launch of our cutting-edge nerve pain formula called Nervolin. Nervolin is the only formula designed to flush out nerve plaques, regenerate your nerves, kill your pain, and get you living again. Every bottle of Nervolin is manufactured in a GMP-certified, state-of-the-art facility right here in the United States. Every easy-to-swallow capsule contains these 10 powerful nutrients, all clinically proven to clear out nerve plaques like Drano going down a pipe. The bottom line is Nervolin is the most advanced and most effective nerve pain formula on God's green earth. Listen, if you've been disappointed by natural supplements in the past, I get it. I really do. Yet, as you can see, the science backing Nervolin is overwhelming. Countless clinical studies back up the power of these compounds. Researchers from Harvard, Johns Hopkins, and other prestigious medical schools give these ingredients their stamp of approval. And since its release, Nervolin has freed thousands of Americans from the pain, depression, and anxiety of neuropathy. People like 74-year-old Angie Szymanski of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who remarked, "I didn't expect this to work. It seems like few supplements for neuropathy do. But my pain stopped after taking Nervolin. I urge you to give this a try. It really works." And then 61-year-old Cindy Lopez of Sacramento, California, who wrote, "I had severe peripheral neuropathy in my feet. It hurt all the time and kept me up for hours at night. My neurologist kept trying to give me heavy narcotics, which I didn't want, but I didn't want to take him due to the side effects. But within 5 days of taking Nervolin, I had a significant amount of pain relief, and within 2 weeks of using it, I was pain-free." In 52-year-old John King of Appleton, Wisconsin, who said, "I have diabetic neuropathy and suffered from shooting nerve pain throughout my body. I've been taking Nervolin for a month, and since then, I have not had any pain. By now, I'm guessing you're probably ready to try this cutting-edge formula for yourself. And you should be, because Nervolin stops the burning, tingling, and numbness fast, starting in mere days. Imagine no more choking down handfuls of dangerous prescription pills, and imagine no longer putting on a happy face in front of your loved ones and acting like you're not in pain, because now you are pain-free. You can grocery shop, cook dinner, babysit the grandkids, you can golf, garden, and enjoy long walks. You can sleep through the night and wake up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and you can just breathe a sigh of relief because you know that all of the burning, tingling, and aching that once made you so miserable has now left your body never to return. My friend, the time has come for you to join the tens of thousands of people using Nervolin to live life on their terms. However, I must warn you, this is the first and only product on the market to tackle nerve plaque, and sourcing ultra-pure extracts of these 10 ingredients cost a small fortune. So don't expect other forms of these nutrients to work nearly as well as the clinically tested forms in Nervolin, and that's why we're constantly running out. You see, Nervolin works so well at silencing nerve pain, almost everyone who uses it keeps ordering more. In fact, most customers order as many bottles as possible to guarantee they never run out, which is really super smart actually, because the bad news is, shipping is very unpredictable due to all the supply chain issues. Plus, these ultra-rare ingredients are grown on 3 separate continents, and they must be sourced locally to ensure their potency. You can't get anything even close to this on Amazon or CDs. So while we're doing our best to keep Nervolin in stock, we do often run out, and we can't always predict when our next batch will come in. Yet, if you're watching this video, that means we still have a few boxes left in our warehouse. So before you grab your bottles, I must give you fair warning. Nervolin is only available on this website. This webpage right here. And because there's no other product on the market that targets the root cause of nerve pain, which is those nerve plaques, Nervolin is your only real hope to completely free yourself from the physical and emotional pain and prison of neuropathy. In fact, I bet after you start using Nervolin, you'll wake up and think to yourself, "Thank God for today. I feel fantastic." And what would that be worth to you? Would it be worth the $300 price tag some people pay for their monthly prescriptions that don't do a darn thing? Well, we paid $300 to formulate the first few batches of our formula that does work. And I bet the lucky people now living pain-free would tell you it's worth 100 times more than that. But again, this isn't about the money for me. I'm fulfilling my God-given mission to bring light and hope to those in need, those in pain. And that's why you won't pay $300. And even though the marketing guy said we'd be nuts to sell Nervolin for less than $150 a bottle, you're not going to pay $150. Heck, you won't even pay $99 right now on this page. Only you can try Nervolin for just $89 per bottle, or more than half off its retail value. But that's just the start. Because you've made it this far into the presentation, it's obvious you're serious about using this one-of-a-kind solution to transform your life, just like thousands of people do every single day. And while Nervolin delivers relief really fast, the toxins that trigger nerve plaques while they're everywhere. In fact, you could live like a monk at the top of a mountain, and you'd still be at risk of plaque overtaking your nerves again. Listen, I don't want that to happen. I want you to have a permanent top-to-bottom transformation so you can enjoy every second of your life and never have to think about nerve pain again. Fortunately, scientists discovered these high-powered ingredients have a build-up effect in your body, which means the longer you take Nervolin, the more powerful and permanent your results become. The clinical studies and customer success stories prove it. And in knowing that I have a moral obligation to do everything I can to make sure you have enough Nervolin on hand for months to come. After all, once you feel the soothing relief, confidence, and freedom that comes with no longer living with nerve pain, I'd hate for you to slide back to square one. Just because you ran out of Nervolin and couldn't reorder because we're out of stock. That's why we created a special one-time discount only available on this page that might not be offered again. So here it is. Right now, you're going to pay just $72 a bottle when you grab a 3-month supply. That's a whopping $20 off every single bottle. Plus, we'll even pick up the tab for shipping. This discount brings the investment in keeping your nerves healthy for life. Now to about $1.50 a day. That's less than a decent cup of coffee, and you're not just saving a boatload of money when you grab 3 bottles. Remember the people who took Nervolin the longest. Experienced the most dramatic reduction in pain and the biggest transformation in their total quality of life. So when you stock up and make Nervolin part of your daily routine, you'll sleep soundly every single night. You'll enjoy long walks and activities with loved ones. You'll be able to stay off prescription drugs that riddle you with side effects, and you'll just enjoy life a heck of a lot more. Now that you no longer have to worry about nerve pain, plus, you aren't actually risking a penny because you're completely covered by my 180-day money-back guarantee. So here's how that works. If you're like countless other members of the Nervolin family, you'll be absolutely over the moon with how Nervolin stops your pain. Yet, if you're not thrilled by how fast your pain subsides, or if you're not happy with how easy it becomes to fall asleep, play with your grandkids. Walk around the block. Or heck, if you just don't like the logo on the bottle, just call or email our friendly support staff and you'll receive a speedy, no hassle, no questions asked refund. And you can even keep the $127 bonus package I'm about to reveal now. If that's not fair, I really don't know what is. The bottom line is we simply couldn't honor such a bold guarantee if we weren't 100% confident. Nervolin will work for you, and that's why I encourage you to grab 3 months' worth of Nervolin. You'll save the most money, and you'll ensure that you have enough Nervolin on hand to live the life that you deserve. However, the only way to get Nervolin for about $1 a day is from this page. The deal is not available on Amazon or anywhere else, and remember, supplies are limited. In fact, as this presentation goes viral across the internet, chances are that tens of thousands of people are watching this video right now and getting ready to place their orders right now. That's why you're making a smart choice to secure your risk-free supply at today's exclusive low price before we sell out, because once we run out of stock, all of the supply chain issues mean it could take up to 3 months before another batch is available. And with inflation, rising prices of everything, I can't even promise the same savings you're guaranteed when you order right now. So go on and snag this free bottle option while we still have Nervolin in stock. Just keep in mind that the clinical studies show selecting the 3-bottle option leads to the best results. Oh, and here to sweeten the pot, when you order a multi-bottle package within the next 7 minutes, you'll receive instant access to a special mystery gift package valued at over $127. And look, I don't want to give away the surprise, but you're going to get a super simple, easy-to-follow blueprint on what to do before you receive Nervolin in the mail, so you can start clearing out those nerve plaques and easing your pain in minutes from now. You'll also receive a list of the household items, foods, and products that trigger nerve pain, so you can do your best to avoid them. Plus, you'll receive a surefire bonus secret that makes Nervolin work even faster and guarantee long-term relief. And finally, when you order 2 or more bottles of Nervolin, which most people do anyway, we'll even pick up the tab for shipping. And since you're protected by my 180-day money-back guarantee, you risk nothing. That's not a bad deal, right? Heck, short of inviting you over to my house for dinner, there's literally nothing else I could do to make this a better deal for you. So go ahead and choose the 3-bottle package or any other money-saving option to get you started. Okay, so here's what will happen when you choose your package below. First, you'll see a checkout page that looks like this. Then you'll enter your payment information in our secure checkout form that's protected by military-grade 256 bits, encrypted SSL security, the same security used by Amazon and Microsoft. This security ensures your private information is totally safe when you order right now. Then when you hit the Order Now button, the guys in the warehouse will pack up and ship out your order, which should arrive at your home in a small, discreet package just a few days. And when you receive that package, rip it open and take 2 easy-to-swallow capsules of Nervolin daily. It really doesn't matter what time you take your Nervolin. Just make sure you take it. Because once those ingredients start clearing out those plaques and killing your pain, you'll be back on track to living life again in no time. So grab that 3-bottle package or the package that's best for you and your family, and get ready to start living the life you desire and deserve. Now, if you're still on the fence, let me make something really clear. Right now, you are at a fork in the road. One road is called the rough road. Now this road is cracked, bumpy, and full of potholes. It's the same road you've probably been on for a while now. How are you enjoying it? Well, if you made the mistake to continue down that road, you'll wind up in a dark, desperate place. A place where those nerve plaques continue clogging and destroying your nerves, and you'll continue to feel those hot, prickly feelings all over your body. You'll continue to lose your balance and coordination. You'll continue to toss and turn at night. And if you made the terrible mistake of just letting the nerve plaques completely overtake and obliterate your nerves, amputation might be your only option. And look, I'm not saying that to scare you. It's simply God's honest truth. Over 200,000 Americans undergo amputation every single year. And if you lost a limb, you'd rely on your loved ones to help you with even the simplest of tasks, like taking a shower, grocery shopping, or even just getting off the toilet. And that actually brings up a great point, because had you considered the toll your nerve pain might take on your loved ones? I mean, if you can no longer care for yourself, then you're not the only one going through hell. You'll be dragging your family through hell, too. You've probably heard stories about adult children sacrificing their lives to care for an aging disabled parent, and your kids might be on the hook to pay for prescriptions, caretakers, and nursing home costs, which could add up to over $120,000 a year. Yeah, and home health care could cost double that. And is that how you want your spouse and children to spend their lives, burning through their savings to pay for medications, caretakers, just so you can waste away in a wheelchair, unable to do the simplest of tasks? Let alone stand proud as your grandchild walks down the aisle. Listen, I know that's the last thing my wife and I want for our family. And thanks to Nervolin, our family and tens of thousands of other families are confident that will never happen. And look, I'd love for you to feel that same confidence. Yet only you can decide what kind of future you want. But please don't dilly-dally, because science shows the longer you wait to flush out those nerve plaques, the greater the risk that you'll suffer irreversible nerve damage. And sadly, far too many people wait too long, hoping and praying for a miracle that may never come because they decided to procrastinate. Fortunately, you can take that other road. The easy road, the easy path. The path where you'll arm yourself with this one-of-a-kind formula based on Harvard-studied compounds, all proven to fight off nerve plaque, regenerate your nerves, and free you from the pain that keeps you from living the life you want. Imagine, just days from now, you'll sleep like a baby every single night. You'll eliminate the fear, anxiety, and hopelessness of neuropathy. And when you're back on your feet feeling better than ever before, you'll just be able to have more fun and enjoy life. I mean, isn't that what life is really about? Enjoying fun times with the people you love. Look, for your sake and for your family's sake, I pray you choose this path. I pray you grab Nervolin, and I pray you allow it to help you get back to enjoying all the good things in life. However, only you can make that decision.